What's up, fam? Welcome to another edition of BBI Talks. This is the show, the platform in which Black business owners and leaders discuss issues that matter to us. And of course, I am one of the co-hosts. I am Professor Lotus, and this is my wonderful husband and purpose partner,
Brother Anthony D. Peace to the BBI Talk family.
All right, now. So today we have a very special and really packed edition of season 3, episode 5, the Black Nonprofit Pop-Up Showcase.
That's right.
We have some extraordinary people that we are going to be featuring today. And even in addition to that, these are nonprofits that we are asking for us to support with our Black dollars.
That's right. They say this is the season for giving. Is that right?
That's right.
What better experience of giving, if you will, than to support organizations who are making an impact in our community, for our children, for every sector of our community. So we all encourage everybody listening and joining us today to make sure that you stay in this giving spirit during this broadcast and even beyond for these organizations.
Absolutely. And, you know, I'm like this. We have Giving Tuesday, right? And that's a huge initiative that helps to promote different types of nonprofits in the metro area. And they really strongly encourage people to put their dollars with them, right?
That's true.
But one of the things that I've noticed is that I don't always see grassroots Black-owned nonprofits being given center stage.
That's right.
In that particular environment. And so that's what we're looking to do here on BBI Talks. We're giving our nonprofits that serve our people center stage.
Absolutely. And Professor Lotus, I think this is an excellent idea that you come up with, because we get lost in the shuffle in so many respects. And so, and it's important for us to highlight what's going on, because oftentimes as a people, we always say, man, we need this and we need that. And it's not that these things don't exist. Oftentimes the case is that we don't know that they exist because of, like I was saying earlier, we get lost in the shuffle of what other organizations that may be more widely known, more mainstream, and the organizations that we are featuring tonight that are boots on the ground in the trenches, so they say, making an impact in our people's lives, they get lost. And so the illusion, the misunderstanding is that these things don't exist, but they do exist in abundance. And what we're featuring today, it's just a small snippet of organizations throughout the country that are really having an impact in the lives of our people.
Absolutely. And I hope and pray. And first, I want to say all praise due to Allah in terms of the idea. All the inspirations that ever come to me, I truly believe, come from the Creator.
Yes.
And so when we're talking about trying to champion the cause of our nonprofits and put our hard-earned dollars behind initiatives that really fuel and help to allow these nonprofits to continue the awesome programming and work that they're doing in the community, it's the least that we can do is to showcase them. And then the other thing I want to say is that, you know, this is like, if you will, our last opportunity of being able to donate to these nonprofits and still get that tax deduction. I understand for a lot of people, that's a real thing.
It's a win-win.
It's a win-win, right? And so every nonprofit that we showcase this evening is going to make you keenly aware of how you can support them financially as well as volunteer. And so, and we've got some surprises tonight, y'all. But of course, we always start our show right?
It's only right.
It's only right. We gotta kick it off the way we're supposed to kick it off.
That's right. Come on, let's get it.
So here to go now, BBI Talks. You know what it is. Let's go.
We gotta bring businesses back. My business is black. My business is black as the universe. I know why they mad. They gotta react, cause we're universal influencers. I can supply you the man. Get what I need on the land. The earth is the kingdom of God. Glad that I know where I am. We gotta bring businesses back. My business is black. My business is black as the universe. I know why they mad. They gotta react, cause we're universal influencers. I can supply you the man. I can supply you the man. Get what I need on the land. Glad that I know where I am.
All right. But before we get going with our interviews, I see who we've been waiting for just got online, and I'm so glad she was able to get online.
That's right. We got to see that face. We got to see that healthy skin. We got to see the glow
I can hardly
coming
hear
through.
you. How are you guys doing?
We're doing fantastic. Well. How are you, Charmaine from Fenton Skin? How are you?
I am well. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Oh, the pleasure is ours. So what's going on this weekend that we're going to be riding out to Florida to join you in?
Yes, this weekend we're having the Fenton Lifestyle pop-up shop happening here at the City Center in Miramar. I'm actually on spot at the location. I would love for you to see it. Let me see if I could flip my camera around.
I saw a waterfall or fountain behind you.
I can't really do it, but
beautiful.
This is the venue, and it's right on the lake.
Ooh, look at that, y'all.
The vendors will be, and this is the botanical garden. So
this
will be the entrance.
You fancy, huh?
That's right.
Yeah.
No, I love it. So who are some of the vendors that are going to be out there?
We have Magnolia Crescent Orchards Wine, which is a non-alcoholic wine coming in from Atlanta. We're super excited to have them.
That's
we
right.
also have KD's Closet. We have Shop 4, which is like a plus-size women clothing line that caters to plus-size women for all seasons. We have a med spa coming, Beauty by P. We have Shoe Feature. We have Off Madison, which sells trendy, unique pieces. We have service vendors as well. We have a mortgage queen coming out. We have a financial educator, Kev. He's going to be here. We have a candle company coming from Kissimmee. I can't remember everybody off the top of my head, but you guys have to come out. It's going to be fantastic. We're going to have a saxophonist who will be performing as well. We're going to have press. We have Reggae Entertainment Lifestyle that's going to be here to capture the moments and the festivities. And it's just going to be wonderful.
Oh, it sounds amazing. Look, you had me at reggae. You had me at the reggae and Black businesses right there. All right. Well, we thank you so much.
Oh, yeah. The Reggae Entertainment Lifestyle. It is a television station.
Yes. Yes. And we thank you so much.
The connection is so bad.
We thank you.
Thank you for having me. I look forward to seeing you guys here on Sunday, December 19th, here at the City Center in Miramar in the beautiful Botanical Gardens. And this is also sponsored by Commissioner Maxwell Chambers.
Amazing. And thank you so much. Please give our greetings to the commissioner and thank him for the work that he's doing. And thank you, Fenton's Lifestyle, for everything that you're doing to pull this together. It's going to be an amazing event.
A pleasure. We look forward to seeing you. Have a fantastic day and an excellent show. Brother Anthony, I see you.
Yes, ma'am. I see you too. Yes, inshallah. Inshallah. Can't wait.
Love it. Love it. Thank you. All right. So we've got our first guest of the nonprofit showcase, and we thank Charmaine so much from Fenton Lifestyle for inviting us to come out this weekend. We will be bringing a wide variety of our non-alcoholic wines and sparkling teas. And I don't know about you, Brother Anthony D.
What's that?
But I am like ridiculously excited about that.
I mean, if I'm telling you this, looking at that, it didn't, even the pictures that she posted, I think, with some of the videos, just that live glimpse, it spoke even more volumes about how awesome the venue is. And so I'm like you, I'm looking forward to it. It'll be almost kind of like a getaway, so to speak. Even though we're coming to work, it's not quite a full vacation. It's a business trip, but
a tax write-off.
Yeah, that too. But I'm looking forward to getting down there and meeting some good people. So with that, let's bring on our first guest.
Yes, an awesome woman in her own right, Miss Gwendolyn Sands.
Let me fix my camera.
And she is representing the awesome nonprofit Cure Violence. How are you doing this evening, Mama Gwen? That's what I call her.
I know. I'm missing you via COVID. That's okay. We'll get together soon.
Yes, and we're missing you too. I mean, well, if you can kind of share some information about Cure Violence, and then also, I know that this is not meant to necessarily do a feature of Visions, but I think we would be doing our audience a disservice if we didn't talk about the awesome work of Vision Unlimited, because that was a foundation to what we now have with Cure Violence. So if you wouldn't mind kind of introducing yourself and just letting everybody know something about your background.
Oh, I certainly will. But first, I need to say hello to my son, brother Anthony D. I'm looking forward to meeting you.
Mama Gwen, you know what? You are absolutely gorgeous.
Oh,
Karima she didn't prepare me. I would have probably put on a suit or something for the occasion. You are absolutely beautiful.
Thank you. That's mercy. That's God's mercy and grace. Trust me. Been through some stuff, brother Anthony.
Come on now. Like, as the saying goes, we don't look like what we've been through.
Amen. I got that. I received that.
Yes,
awesome.
Yeah. Actually, I can't. I'm a retired. I've been trying to retire since Karima. How long? 2000 for a long time.
Long time.
But I came to Atlanta to work on a doctorate and fell in deep love with Head Start. But what started Visions was my son, my dear son, decided to amass quite a bit of money using alternative methods. How was that?
That was probably the most PC way I've ever heard that expressed in my life. So you're doing wonderful.
Look, there are a lot of people who are doing that.
So as such, he spent 5 years in a federal penitentiary. And we're from a family of hard work, work ethic, not all college graduates, but work ethic focused, intact families. And so we said, if that could happen to our family, when we actually have judges and entrepreneurs and engineers, and if that could happen to our family with all the support, then what about some of our families in our community? Oh, okay, I'm not going to cry, Karima. In our communities and neighborhoods without that kind of support. And that's how Visions was born. And for about 10 years, we were strong in the communities, had service posts and Bankhead Highway, Hollywood Courts, all Atlanta Housing Authority properties. In 2010, I was diagnosed with stage 2 cancer. And as God's will, he had more work for me to do.
That's right.
That's right. He had more work for me to do. However, we downsized. And since 2010, we've pretty much we have been providing services through our personal resources. Because when you have an assignment on your life, it's an assignment. And until it's completed, God is going to provide his favor, his covering. So we are supporting other nonprofits as well. Yes. And so one of the things I'm just volunteering with this effort because we've always been a violence prevention initiative. And the core foundation for our initiative was Operation Ceasefire out of Chicago. Operation Ceasefire evolved into Cure Violence Global. Same foundation, recognizing the value, and they don't like to be called credible messengers anymore. My daughter Karima, they are, and they're not ex-customers of the justice system anymore. They're ambassadors of peace.
Okay,
got you.
They're ambassadors of peace because that's their focus. They are so Cure Violence Atlanta was born. As I said, I'm just a volunteer. It's a wonderful group of young people. They have a website. They're newly formed for about a year, but they have a website, and the website is. Do I need to say it or chat it?
Yes, please. No, please.
Yes, it's cureviolenceatlanta.org.
Okay.
Awesome.
And so it's been a year. So far, they're working in the West End in Vine City. Near Mercedes-Benz Stadium, but just an incredible group of young people who have a heart for the movement, who have a heart to go into the most vulnerable neighborhoods in Atlanta and be a peaceful presence, to evoke, to have change, and to share the message that violence isn't accepted here, while also giving support. So yes, cureviolenceatlanta.org.
Awesome.
That's the website.
And so just so that people are kind of aware of, you say you're a volunteer, but it's important for people to know, for our audience to know the caliber of volunteer that you are. for this organization. I mean, really, I had the pleasure and the honor of being a part of a collaboration that you spearheaded in conjunction with Strengthening Families and Communities Coalition of Atlanta, where we actually went into Brown Middle School. And because of the extraordinary work that your nonprofit spearheaded in collaboration with a few other partners,
right?
They were actually
including our Karima Mohammed, I think, who was an essential member of that team.
Praise be to Allah.
Yes.
We were able to actually get them removed from the governor's poor school performing list or school performance performance list. And we also went in and shared social emotional learning training, and not only for the teachers and administration, but also for them to share with students.
Exactly.
And so just, you know, if you can kind of share some of your thoughts on the work that, you know, you've been blessed to facilitate, just so that people can get an idea of the type of work that they can look forward to when we're talking about cure violence.
Exactly. We forget as a community that violence has some risk factors. Young people, we expect young people to make decisions as if they were 30 and 40 years old. So developmentally, they make decisions on the fly. You know, they see something, that's mine, I should have that. The other thing with working with the younger people, we must start with prevention, which includes the entire family, which includes that neighborhood, which includes that community. And then and that's the prevention stage. And then there's intervention. And that's a lot of what we did in Brown Middle School. There were ambassadors of peace assigned on each floor. And when there were some challenges in the classroom, challenges in the hall between classes, there's always so much fun happening in the hallways during changing classes. Young people find many different places that are unknown to share fun. So we covered all of that. The young people were connected. They connected with the ambassadors of peace. When trust is established, that's so important. When trust is established between young people and mentors, then the sky is the limit in terms of the positive outcomes for them. So the part that Professor Lotus was involved in was especially with providing professional development to the staff in terms of stress management, in terms of, which is so important, work-life balance, skills to survive in school during some very, very challenging times. So it was an awesome. They were removed from the list. Services were provided all the way from before school upon the student's arrival, all the way through actually leaving. And there was always an ambassador of peace on site during breaks in the cafeteria, establishing relationships, providing mentoring. Sometimes young people, we had what we call Club Excel. And Club Excel was an opportunity for young people with some challenges to enjoy and, well, first, do some homework or tutoring. However, the most impactful piece of Club Excel was playing Uno while delivering life skills.
Okay.
So you wouldn't know that cognitive behavioral restructuring was going on, or you wouldn't think that social emotional learning was going on. I'm here. I've got my what is it now? PS5. Yeah, and we're just chopping it up.
Right.
And that's the key to identify the evidence-based services and then make them appealing to young people. Because we could not come in, okay, now it's time for your lesson with cognitive restructuring. What do you think? That doesn't work. But just sitting with them and chatting and getting that trust. There was and when trust was established, then change happens, transformation happens. They share details that can then help the school counselor address those things in a more confidential way. So
awesome.
I apologize, I'm talking too much.
No, not at all. Not at all. Look, we're here to hear from you. There was one piece that I would like for you to touch on briefly, and that is, at the risk of, sharing too much information about the goings on of the school at that particular time. Like most schools, there was some gang activity, there was some recruiting happening in the community among junior high schoolers, where, from my understanding, over a weekend, they had jumped in between 70 and 80 junior high students. And of course, whatever happens in the neighborhood and the community will soon find itself into the school. Can you share that last component that the organization was involved in that kind of addressed those issues from the community standpoint?
Exactly. At any time when we were in a school, there were ambassadors of peace who were assigned to the schools. In the community, there were partner ambassadors of peace. So if something happened in the community, they communicated that with the community ambassadors of peace and vice versa, and shared with the school that information. There were situations sometimes, in addition to that gang shooting, if you wore the wrong colors in junior high school, young people were afraid to walk home, and so there was an exchange. There were safe places that young people could go, and there was always a community ambassador of peace who accompanied them, so they could walk safely home. The presence in the community and the school, plus collaboration with home, is a win-win. We need more of that.
Absolutely.
That's one of the things that we continue to work with, establishing collaborations, because too often nonprofits, we work in silos.
Yes, ma'am.
And collaboration equals synergism.
That's right.
When each organization, each individual brings their own gifts.
No. And just to kind of tie that particular story up, the ambassadors from your nonprofit were able to get those children blessed out of those street organizations, to give them a chance. Yes. And I want to make sure that the community knows that. So one last time, if you could please share the contact information for Cure Violence with our audience, of where they can send their donations and know that it's going to a worthy nonprofit whose work has proven itself with very real results.
Right. Lots of data. Now I'm just a volunteer for Cure Violence Atlanta.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Wink, wink. Okay.
It's part of a legacy, and I was excited that they wanted to continue the work in the community, because too often with COVID and with we as organizations are sometimes afraid to go into the deep community. But that's where the heart, if we can address that heart, then we have come a long way. But this CureViolenceAtlanta.org in the website, they're in the process of finalizing their PayPal link. Okay. But it's CureViolenceAtlanta.org, and on the website it has all of that information.
Awesome. Well, we thank you so much, Sister Gwendolyn Sands, aka Mama Gwen.
That's right.
For coming on to our show today. It was truly an honor. And you have so much to share. We really got to bring you on again. But we thank you so much for your time.
Well, thank you. And just keep on keeping on, as our generation would say. You're a wonderful representation of all that is good in this world. So thank you so very much for the opportunity.
Oh, wow. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Love you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye now. Wow. If only we knew about the jewels we have in our community that are serving our community in such a sincere way. We have another brother who is waiting to come up on air. Can we bring brother up?
Absolutely.
I just want to state briefly before we introduce this big brother why we invited him onto the show. I remember a few years ago us having a conversation. At that time, he was interested in developing a charter school here in Metro Atlanta. And at that time, I was living in Albany, and I'm like, brother, I'm in Albany, you know. But when he talked about the students that he was working with in the school, and I listened, the first thing I listen for when someone tells me that they work with children, I'm listening for love. That's the first thing I'm listening for. And if I don't hear love, I don't rock with you.
That's right.
But I heard love come from this brother when he talked about the young men and the young women that he was working with in the school. And I said, when we start talking about nonprofits, oh no, we got to have brother on, because we need to hear what it sounds like when you're working from the heart.
Absolutely.
So without further ado, here is our big brother, Brother Mark D. Mohammed.
All right now.
Of Let Us Make Man Foundation.
Chi-Town.
Come on now. How you doing, brother? Assalamu alaikum. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I think he's frozen.
Uh-oh.
Having a little bit of a
technical glitch.
Well, if you're going to be frozen, that's the way you want to do it. Okay. you was frozen with a beautiful smile on your face, brother. So
I didn't know what to do.
You're supposed to be frozen like that.
Right.
No, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Welcome, Brother Mark D.
Thank you. I'm honored. I'm humbled. It's not really I'm not really easily humbled that you all would think of your little brother and think that I have something that is relevant for our youth.
Absolutely. Relevant for the time, for sure. So please tell us about the Let Us Make Man Foundation, how it got started, what's the mission, etc.
Okay, Let Us Make Man Foundation came to fruition about 12 years ago. A friend of mine, Sister Nita, she said, Brother Mark, there's some youth that I need you to speak to. Would you mind coming up to Lake Geneva in Wisconsin for a weekend? I was like, sure, a trip, talking to the youth, easy peasy.
Right.
We go, and I have to be frankly honest. It was my very first time speaking to you. Didn't have a script, didn't have a playbook, but I know I had the experience of being an inner city youth that went through the trials and the tribulations and the foolishness, and a lot of people don't even know this. I actually went to one of the top high schools in Chicago, but got caught up in all the girls and ended up getting all F's my freshman year. I never had an F in my life. Ever. I was devastated, and I ended up having to go to an alternative school and graduating from an alternative school. So during this weekend, I just got into some real live conversations with the young men and young women and just spoke from my heart. And if you go to the website, you'll see a clip where a young man said that the things that I expressed, taught, and shared with him changed his life. Now, once he said that, that was my aha moment. I had done everything. I had done fiber optics, cabling, this, that, and the other, and it just wasn't fulfilling, even for the IRS. But once that young man said that, that was my aha moment. Because this is not something that I have to go and get schooling for. This is something that I've already been schooled in through my life journey. So when it comes to at-risk youth, aberrated youth, behavioral issues, those are just second nature to me. When I deal with those type of students, I keep it open, I keep it honest, and I think that's what allows me to be successful.
Right.
So that's where we at.
Well, you touched on it in terms of the some of the services that Let Us Make Man Foundation offers to the community. Can you elaborate more on the particular services, what your particular skill set of expertise is as an organization?
Well, we do male-female relationships because there's a gross gap. Male-female relationships with the youth. You think with the adults, it's horrible with the youth. I mean, they're aggressive. The girls are aggressive. The language that they use is more like enemies. And I'm like, y'all are trying to go with each other? Nah, that's not how we do that. And the level of respect and the knowledge of who they are, that's the number one issue with our youth.
Yes, sir.
They have no clue who they are. They're busy going along with what they see, what's being portrayed in stereotypes. Now, every student I've encountered on the boys' side has this thing now where they feel like they have to catch a body. And what I mean by catching a body, that means to kill somebody.
That's right.
To be of substance. And it's a sick mindset that no one seems to want to deal with. So that's what I find myself doing. And surprisingly, these students are in the 6th grade.
Wow.
Yeah, these are 6th graders.
Yeah.
You know, so what I'm trying to do, and I have to be real honest.
Yes, sir.
We don't receive funding. I'm trying to get there. Everything that I've done for the last 12 years has been out of my pocket. The fishing camps, the trips, all this is out of my pocket, but it doesn't matter. If I can affect just one, and that one can affect others. So presently I work in an alternative school system, and it's sad, but it's motivating because now I want to go to a different pedagogy. I want to develop a curriculum totally different, or sit down with educators to develop curriculum, because I think that the standard curriculum as it stands now does not benefit our youth at all, with all the social, emotional issues that they have.
Right.
And then we have to understand, where we're going with the funding. Are we going to get the necessary tools? Right now, there should be a therapist in each school.
Absolutely.
A few nurses, climate managers. And I think if you're either going to have to remove law enforcement or retrain law enforcement.
Yes, absolutely.
You have to have more of an empathetic role. You have to be more understanding. And I think one of the problems that we have as adults is that we forget we were children.
That's right.
Right.
You know, you making that statement about curriculum and pedagogy, it brings to mind a question about your relationship, because, well, let me say this. I'm my understanding, Let Us Make Man Foundation, although it was it started in Chicago, you in Atlanta now, and you've run this program and operated it in more than just those 2 states, in the state of Illinois and the state of Georgia. So the first part is, tell us about the other states or other cities that you have run the program from. And then also, I'm curious to know, have you had any engagement, or what the nature of the engagement with the school systems in the different cities has been like? Because to me, it sounds like what you're speaking about is really structurally changing certain policies within the existing school system. So can you please comment about those 2 things?
Okay, the states were Illinois, Tennessee, Mississippi, and Atlanta. I even spoke at a school in Coffeyfield, Mississippi.
Wow.
And so that's one of the things that leads me back to trying to go back and get my master in educational curriculum. Because although I believe that I have what it takes, they don't listen if I don't have those letters behind my name. I'll give you an example. We have right now, roughly at the school that I work at, we have over the 50 to 60 youth. Now, at any given time, now these are not just regular youth now. Some of these youth have attempted murder cases, cases where they've attacked staff, but there's not a day that I feel threatened. I can come in, I can take 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 out at a time by myself.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason, I think it's just a God-given talent that I was given to recognize who they are, what they have, and what they need.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's one of the things that educators have to break it down. All systems are not cookie cutter systems because everybody does not learn the same way. And everybody doesn't have the same environmental issues. You know, some of our girls, they go home and they have to be prostituted.
Mm-hmm.
Some of our girls have to, you know, watch their siblings, become the second mother.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And some of our students, the boys have to sell drugs to pay their rent.
Mm-hmm.
You know, all of this has to be taken into consideration. And I really have to give a shout out to a book that I'm breaking this book down component by component. It doesn't get a lot of exposure. And it's Torchlight to America by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan.
Yes,
absolutely.
Absolutely.
This book was written years ago, but it's very, 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 very relevant now.
Absolutely.
You have to be a Muslim. That's be what you want to be.
Right.
But what you have to do is take what fits, what works, and use it, especially for our children. Especially if we keep saying the children are our future. Right now, the future looks very bleak.
Right. Facts.
Well, Brother Mark, we are so appreciative of the work that you're doing.
Absolutely.
And like Professor Lotus stated when introducing you, the heart, it comes across clearly to me, and I pray that it comes across clearly to our audience. For those of you who are interested in supporting the work that Brother Mark is doing with the Let Us Make Man Foundation, we ask that you donate to the organization. You see the Cash App is up, LUMM Foundation. Cash App, the $ LUMM Foundation. And please visit their website at www.lummfoundation.com and follow them on Instagram at the LUMM Foundation. Brother Mark, before we let you go, it just dawned on me that you are responsible for this, brother. You're responsible for me and this woman being here locked in this studio, because if it wasn't for you saying, brother, I need you to come be on this board for this charter. What I'm saying, audience, is that because Brother Mark had reached out to myself and Professor Lotus, inviting us to serve on the board for the charter school that we were working to put together to have to present here in Atlanta to the state of Georgia, that created the context where Professor Lotus, who you may not know is also my wife, were able to work with one another. And one thing led to another. And before you know it, I really wasn't happy. I was trying to front like I was a happy bachelor, but I was trying to be a happy bachelor. But Brother Mark ruined it in a beautiful way, though. In a beautiful way, brother. I thank you. I thank you.
All things works for good for those that love the Lord.
Come on now.
Amen.
Before I go, I just want to say that I am always open, anxious, and ready to serve and work with any organization.
That's right.
That's absolutely serious about our youth. If you're not serious, don't come my way.
That's right.
That's right. And I just want to share something briefly. The sister who was on before you, Sister Gwendolyn Sands, what she was able to identify in terms of that funding piece is that because of the reorganization that has taken place locally, many of your principals have up to around $25,000 that they can actually earmark for contracts 2 nonprofits to come and serve their schools. So I'm just going to drop that out there. And
okay, well, I'll be knocking on your doors, principals. Don't ignore me. Mark D. Mohammed Foundation. I'm going to start with Tri-Cities, work to Banneker.
There you go. But that does not mean he doesn't want you to donate.
That's right.
Look, we want everybody to donate.
Hit that cash app.
Hit that cash app.
Hit it up.
But we thank you so much,
thank you,
big brother, for having us on today. Truly an honor.
I thank you all. The honor is always mine. Anytime somebody thinks that I have something to add to this society.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. And thank you, because he's a wonderful Black man. And I'm very, very happy that Allah has blessed us to be able to come together. And I thank you for being the vessel, the catalyst of us being able to come together in the way we have.
All praises due to Allah.
All praises due to Allah. Thank you so much, brother. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Awesome. Awesome. And you know what everything Brother Mark D said was so real. I was thinking about a meeting I went into with another nonprofit where they were talking about the male-female relationships among our youth. That's like a huge thing. Right. It really is.
Right.
And I remember the nonprofit was saying that they were hosting something called Real Talk. And a young lady came into the room and she had a tattoo of 2 hands around her neck. So one of the facilitators, kind of pulled her aside and was like, what's going on with these tats? And she says, oh, that's tats of my boyfriend's hands around her throat.
Wow.
So what Brother Mark D has to offer these schools in terms of this male-female relationship component, that healthy relationship component is critical. It's so critical. And so I really ask those of you who are watching to really reach out to this brother to come into your schools. And I'm not just saying this because I know brother and I know him to be a good man, but I'm saying this also because what he has to offer is so important for our young people. They have to learn how to interact with one another in relationships. That is so important. And so I commend brother for the work that he's doing in the community, and it's definitely needed.
Absolutely.
So who do we have them now? Boy, this is beautiful, man. I don't know about you, but this is incredible. The people that we're talking to.
It's all I can think about is what the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan stated once during a meeting. He talked about members of the Nation of Islam, and I think that extends to all of our people as being unwrapped gifts.
Yes.
And we sit amongst one another, we conversate with one another, we may even spend a certain amount of time with one another, but oftentimes we really don't delve deeply into what it is that we do. We know each other on a surface level.
Right.
So when I get to through this forum have conversations with people that I know, I realized that I didn't know them as good and as well as I should know them. And I'm so happy that this opportunity is given so that I can learn about my brothers and sisters a little bit more, and to find out the tremendous impact that they're having. It makes me feel very honored to have the blessing of being in company of such wonderful brothers and sisters.
Absolutely. So that brings us, that's a wonderful segue to our next guest.
Let's bring her on.
Another beautiful sister.
There she is.
Sister Betty Maddox Mohammed.
Come on, Sister Betty.
Assalamu alaikum, family.
Walaikum salam, my sister. How are you?
I'm doing well, sir. Thank you for asking.
You know what, Sister Betty, before we get started, because we had to make a trip out to Decatur today, and I told Professor Lotus I was going to show her my old neighborhood that I used to live in Ellenwood, and one of the locations we drove by, it's a strange tourist attraction, but we went by the Dekalb Regional Youth Detention Center, and I said, this is where I met Sister Betty.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
We first started to do our work together in the community. So welcome to BBR Talks, Sister Betty. Please tell us about your organization, how you got started with it, what the mission is, and then before we wrap up today, we definitely want to share with the audience how we can support this organization, because we want to see it thrive. We don't believe in just existing.
Right.
We believe in growing and thriving. So we want to be a part of that process. So please share with the audience what it is that your organization is doing.
Well, first of all, I'm honored and I'm humbled by the invitation to be on, and I do not take it for granted. And before we get started, I greet you with the greeting words of peace of Assalamu alaikum to everyone.
Walaikum salam, Sister Betty.
Thank you so much. Again, my slave name is Betty Maddox Battle. I am married to Brother Terry Battle, who is also a Muslim who has been in the nation for about 50 years. And he and I just recently married about going on 4 years now. And I've learned an awful lot. So I'm so humble for Allah to put a second spouse in my life who is truly, I do believe, a man of God who has helped me on this mission. But I am the mother of Michael Anthony Maddox, who was a 25-year-old black male who was murdered in the city of Atlanta in 1993. He was murdered by a 16-year-old who was shot not one time, not two times, not three times, but 4 times. And I retired out of law enforcement. I've processed many of crime scenes, but I never thought the day would come when somebody will have to process my loved one's crime scene. So in 2010, I registered with the state of Georgia, with the Secretary of State of Georgia, as a 501c3 nonprofit. GRIEVE, and it's an acronym for Grieving Relatives in Every Violent Event, whether teen violence, gang violence, domestic violence. Our mission with GRIEVE is to provide support and resources with compassion to loved ones to families and loved ones who've lost their family member to the senseless. Let me be specific. To the senseless gun violence being perpetrated in today's society. And that being said, we're also working with Brother Minister Kevin Mohammed in the city of Chattanooga, where with the Community Haven, where we have raised over $10,000 for a reward fund, where in September of this year, 7 black females were shot. 2 of them died as a result. And they don't have anybody, no suspect, any information or any kind for the arrest and conviction of the perpetrators who shot these 7 black women. So as GRIEVE, I'm up and down the road, talking to these young people and trying to get them to understand that there are consequences behind their actions as far as gun violence is concerned. And we got to let them know that there are consequences, and we got to do it with love. And that being said, also, I kept my son's shirt with the bullet holes in it, and I use it as a prop. And it's in a shadow case that I take out into the community, and I minister to young people about the consequences of their action. Your parents once told you that a picture is worth 1,000 words. Well, it is. And I've been doing this since 1993. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad once said, we must unite at all costs. We've tried everything, and we must stand fully packed like a wall against the injustice that's being committed in today's society. So I'm here, and I'm here for the long haul. So I'm open to any questions, any ideas, any concerns. you know, as a grieving mother, you know, I'm here to serve, sir.
Well, one of the things that I want to share with the audience, they may have heard it, is that you offer support to other parents who have gone through a similar incident that you have experienced. And that to me is tremendously phenomenal, that you have not, I would say, and this is, you know, so pardon me if I don't get the lanes correct, but you have not allowed that experience to consume you to the point where you become you are unable to take that experience and utilize it in a way that can be helpful to others. And I say that because two things. Number one, there was a sister that I connected you with, who's
Delavia Cameron.
Yes, Sister Delavia Cameron, whose child was killed at a party. And I was so, you know, I'm gonna be honest. Sometimes you reach out for people and they'll say they're going to help you, but too often though we experience with people overpromise and underdeliver. But I was so happy that day when we were in Union City and I saw you arrive and you were there with open arms embracing Sister Delavia, and you have maintained a relationship. This is not a photo op. Sister Betty is not about the photo ops. She's not about making her presence felt and then disappearing. And no, she's there for the long haul. And so she's a part of this network of women. And I also saw you on the 20th anniversary of the Million Man March. You were up on the dais with, I believe it was the mother of Nick Young, I believe, the brother who was killed up in Cobb County, I believe. I think I don't know if Sabrina Fulton was there, but there were just
so many.
Yeah, it was so many. So can you please talk about this aspect of network that you and other women who've gone through these experiences have developed to support other mothers and other parents who've gone through these experiences?
Yes, sir. America spends about approximately 2.29 billion, B with the B, dollars a year on gun violence. And we've got grassroots organizations in the community that actually work. Conflict resolution is one with the art. We partner with the art under the leadership of Brother Minister Abdul Sharif Mohammed, the 10,000 Fearless. We've got to come together. It's not a my thing. It's not a your thing. It's a people thing. It's about helping each other. We're put here as vessels of God to be used. I'm just an empty vessel waiting to be filled. I had the opportunity to serve on the panel with Revolt News Media, and I got a little emotional because as I sometimes do, because, and pardon me 1 minute, because I know the justice system. For over 30 years, I've seen so much, and I have 5 of those 30-some years. 5 years I've worked with the fire department, teaching fire safety. You don't know until somebody's been displaced, until that mother you get that phone call in the middle of the night or early in the morning, or even during the day, and say, tell you that your loved one has been murdered. But we got to understand that these young people, we got to show love. That's one thing I believe is missing. Yes. We talk about the young people, but we can't throw the baby out with the bathwater. We got to let them know that we love them and there's help out there. That's so with these mothers out here that's crying, a mother just talked to a mother, and that's why I'm so emotional now. We can't clean it up now. I don't have time to clean it up. You got to keep it real with them because of the young people They said, Miss Betty, we so sick of you all talking about we need to do this and they're sick of us perpetrating. They want to hear the truth, the whole truth and nothing but the truth. What happened with Ahmaud Arbery shouldn't have never happened, but it did happen. But to sit there and listen to that mother, for her to look at the crime scene pictures, you know, and now the young man in Minnesota, you know, where the police officer is on trial, where she inadvertently used her taser as opposed to her weapon. Right. But my point again I feel these mothers' pain. I feel their pain. So we as mothers have collectively got to come together and come up with some solutions. So that's what I'm here to do, Brother Anthony.
Wonderful, wonderful.
And Professor.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. How can we, or how can anybody out there who needs to get in contact or desires to get in contact with Grieve, what is the method by which they can reach you? Do you have any social media accounts that we can engage you with?
Yes, sir. I can be reached at, my email address is Grieve, and that's GRIEVE_families at EPBFI.com. Again, Grieve_families at EPBFI.com. And you can visit our website at grievingrelatives.org. Or you may phone us at 470-885-9524. We've got to get into the schools. That's what I'm trying to do, to get into the schools and give conflict resolution, because we've got people that's qualified to do it. I just need help.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. What we will do, move it, because I didn't have an opportunity to jot everything down, but we will make sure that we get the contact information that you just provided us out. We were going to actually edit this show into to feature all of our guests individually, and when we do that, we'll make sure that we highlight the contact information. And on the website, is it a way where people can actually give monetarily or with other resources to support the mission of Grieve?
Yes, sir. They can, donate us by visiting our website, or you may cash app us at $Grieve, GRIEVE, and the number 4, or you may PayPal us at Grieving Relatives.
Awesome. Awesome. And I thank you so much for the tremendous work that you're doing, sister. And I mean, we feel it. We feel it. And we know the realities that are around us. And at this stage of the game, we can't play games with our children. Right. You know, that it never should have been how we approach our young people, but it's definitely not something that can be done now. We have to be real about what's happening, and we have to approach, like you said, the situation that we're dealing with love, because our young people know that. They know when they're being loved on, and they know when they're not.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yes, ma'am. And last but not least, Professor, I'd like to, before we end this, understand that love is an action word. And my mother used to always say, if your words don't match your action, then there's no truth in them.
That's right.
So collectively, we've got to come together, and let them know when the power of love overcomes the love of power, that's when the world will see peace.
Beautiful.
Amen. Amen.
Beautiful.
And before you go, Sister Betty, I just wanted to say, because your words inspired this, not everybody is doing what you're doing. And I don't think the appeal is to get everybody to do the exact same thing that we see Sister Betty doing. I believe that's a calling on her life to do that. However, we can support monetarily, with other resources, but at a minimum, we can lift up this sister in our prayers, because this is a heavy mission.
And it's a heavy weight.
It's a heavy weight. It's a huge responsibility. And it's something that we all can get involved in. Maybe not the same way, but as I stated, you can at least lift up our sister and those that she's working with and those that she is helping with these services that Grieve is offering with your prayers. We are a praying people. We need to stay that way and do the work. Absolutely. The prayers does not absolve us from doing the work.
Yes, sir.
But we can walk and chew gum, and we need to do so, especially in this hour. So thank you again, Sister Betty.
Thank you.
It's always a pleasure speaking with you and to see your beautiful face.
Yes.
And please give our love to our big brother, Brother Terry.
Yes, and the family. Absolutely.
I certainly will do that. Thank you so much. I'm very humble.
Praise
be to Allah. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum, family.
Salam, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
Wow. Woo. Yeah. So, man, these first three guests, I'm really, I'm so thankful to them for, God put it on their heart to give of their life energy to serve our people in the wonderful way that they're doing. It's not an easy task. And, I think what they are doing is definitely worthy of our support. So please contribute in any way that you can, but especially monetarily. So again, we help these organizations and we help their efforts to grow. We're not just about trying to exist, but we want to grow and to thrive, and so we can maximize the impact in our community. All right, so next we have a guest that's actually visiting us. This is a pre-recorded segment. This is a new wrinkle in BBI Talk. So in the midst of the live conversation, we're going to include a video from our next nonprofit, which is Iqra International. So let me just cue the video up. If you just give me 1 second.
Yes, we'll give it some time. Y'all are going to be pleasantly surprised by the guest that we're about to feature next.
I agree. So let me find it. Here it is.
All right now.
Are we ready?
I'm ready.
Let's go. Well, you know what? We may have to circle back around. This StreamYard is very rigid in terms of you have to have this file in a certain format and things of that nature. So we ran into that. So we're going to try to see what we can do to get this corrected before the show ends.
Well, while you're kind of working that out, I just want to one last time give the contact telephone number to Sister Betty with Grieve. It is area code 470-885-9524. Once again, 470-885-9524. And her email address is Grieve, that's GRIEVE _families with an S at E as in Edward, P as in Paul, B as in Bat, F as in Frank, I as in Igloo.com.
And so while we are waiting to get this small technical matter resolved and for our next guest to show up, I think now would be a good opportunity to break to feature our sponsors.
Absolutely. And thank you, sponsors. We appreciate you.
Absolutely. All right, let's go.
Here's a book that I know you're gonna feel. This is Mansour and the mysterious wheel. Facing plenty challenges, a journey to explore. Found a friend on the wheel, and it's so much more. Written by Mansour Mohammed at the age of 11. Been writing since 5, the second book out of 7. Teaching character building, like courage for children, like honesty and how we can practice social distance. Hey, Mansour and the mysterious wheel.
P.S. Naturally Yours 1614 Oil. Let all things be done with love. 1614 is a nourishing hair, skin, and nail oil cultivated to transform your self-care routine. with our unique natural essential oils that features sweet vanilla, citrus with a hint of cinnamon. PS Naturally Yours 1614 oil is now available at psnaturallyyours.com.
We're back, and thank you so much to our wonderful sponsors of BBI Talks. Our next guest is ready, and she is a wonderful and incredible woman in her own right. I've had the honor, the privilege, and the pleasure of working for her at the Community Council of Metropolitan Atlanta. Here is the legendary founder and president, Sister Norma Joy Barnes.
Thank you, Sister Karima. Thank you so much. It's an honor to be with both of you.
Thank you. The honor's ours.
Great. Sister Norma, you are the third. Sister Kareem, Professor Lotus, I'm sorry. She's really doing me a tremendous a blessing, because I'm seeing so many beautiful women, and I know that she's not jealous of me saying this.
No, not at all.
But my goodness, you sisters are just phenomenal. It's truly a pleasure, and I know you know that the external beauty is only diminished by the internal beauty that you all possess, which comes through the work that you all are doing to serve our community. So I just had to say that at the outset, because I'm just blown away. Thank you so much, Professor Lotus.
Thank you for saying that to a senior citizen.
So, Sister,
I can't hear. I can't hear. I can't hear. I can't hear anything.
Okay, let's see what's going on. We obviously are having some sort of technical challenge. I'm not quite sure what the challenge is, but we are going to see what we can do to kind of get this ironed out. What do you think, Brother Anthony D?
I don't know. One thing about this technology is that it works both ways. So while sometimes our challenges, the challenges that we experience could be happening from our end, other times it may happen from the end of our guests. And it's just one of these things that when you're dealing with internet-based technology and trying to do things in real time, you just have to deal with what comes with doing things live. You know what I mean? So but hopefully we can see if we can get Sister Norma back on. Let's try it one more time.
I sent a message asking if she could log out and log back in. I don't know if she was able to check her phone.
Okay, let's see. Let me try to reintroduce her back into the broadcast.
Okay, let's see what happens.
Let's see.
Can you hear us now?
I can hear you now.
Awesome. Woo!
I was preparing to log back in.
Just in time. So if you wouldn't mind, Sister Norma, if you could please introduce what Community Council of Metropolitan Atlanta, what you do, and also the community in which you serve.
All right. Well, I am the president and the CEO of the Community Council of Metropolitan Atlanta. I founded the organization over 13 years ago because I saw all of the problems our young Black men were having. We work primarily with young Black men, 18 to 28 years of age, to empower them, to give them what they need to succeed in life. We also have a program for at-risk youth, but our primary focus is on young men of color.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. And so how did you get started, Sister Norma?
Well, I've worked with social agencies most all of my adult life. And in all of those agencies, I saw young Black men falling between the cracks. Although my son was doing okay, I couldn't overlook them. I worked with the Department of Labor at one point with young men returning from the Job Corps. I was a volunteer coordinator through Joint Action and Community Service. And I think that's probably when I first recognized the problem our young men were having. That was many years ago. I think that was 1974 or 75 when I was chosen as the National Volunteer of the Year.
Wow.
So after that time, I mentored young men. I coordinated volunteers, but I realized that I had to do more. I went on to work with the government. I was a federal mediator with the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. And finally, 13 years ago, I decided that I needed to retire to do this full time. So we provide workshops, Overcoming the Odds workshops for young Black men. We have an academy, the Priority Male Institute, the Propel Academy, and we do a number of things to empower them, including our Priority Male Empowerment Network that connects them with all of the organizations in Atlanta that can serve them. Because one organization can't do it all. I heard Sister Gwen speak and some of the others speak about what they were doing. We have to come together to meet the needs of these young people.
Absolutely. And if you wouldn't mind sharing, like, what does programming look like within your nonprofit?
Well, it has changed over the past 2 years because of the pandemic.
Right.
Right now, we're doing things virtually, and virtual forums, workshops for young men are not as effective as in-person workshops and classes. But we still have, we're doing job fairs. You did the Trade Skills Expo that we held I think that was last year, wasn't it?
Yes.
Last year. We've had 2 job fairs this year and a number of other programs. But we are somewhat limited because of the pandemic and are hoping that we can get out of this really, really soon.
And one of the other events that you host that I think is also really important to highlight is your Live Before You Die Summit. Would you mind kind of sharing what that's about to our audience?
All right. The Live Before You Die Summit is for young people, male and female, of all ages, generally over 13. And it's a mock funeral and an interactive postmortem forum after that. We have we have even before the funeral where a young person is killed on the street. Sometimes it's drug related, sometimes it's gang related. After that, we have his funeral, real funeral with the eulogy, songs. But after all of that occurs, we want them not to just leave feeling sad, but what can we do about this? So we have the postmortem forum with professionals who deal with suicide, homicide, HIV, automobile accidents, everything on the program, sharing information and advice to these young people who are also actively involved, expressing their opinions. The first one was at Central United Methodist Church. The second one was at Ebenezer Baptist Church. And the third one was at Friendship Baptist Church. We hope to have one in 2022, but it just depends.
Right. No, we understand that definitely. But I think it's important, Sister Norma, for people to understand the work that you have been doing, over these years, and that they know that you are a wonderful resource for our young men, that they can come to your organization and get support. I think it's important for them to know that, and to what type of support. If you wouldn't mind talking about also the P-Men network that you have, especially since we have other nonprofits featured on this show, they may decide that they would like to join that network.
All right. The Priority Male Empowerment Network, P-Men, is the only collaborative network in the metropolitan area that focuses on young Black males and that provides assistance to them, What we do, we have an online network that they can visit. It's categorized by the type of assistance you need, where they can connect directly with the organization. It will, if they click the link, it will take them to the website of the organization. But we also have a call center. They call in, we assess them, we counsel them, we refer them to an organization if we can't provide that particular assistance. And after that, we follow up with them to determine if they received assistance and what else they need. And in some instances, we assign them to a mentor, because most of them don't have strong male role models in their lives. And they need someone to stay with them, to guide them through the journey to manhood.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then also, aren't you also a part of the, and I'm saying this, you know, as an interviewer, of course I know the answer, but aren't you also a part of the former President Barack Obama's My Brother's Keeper initiative as well?
We're part of that alliance. And in fact, we planned the first and only collaborative symposium for the My Brother's Keeper initiative. Back in, I think it was 2013, 2014, you were involved in that, Sister Karima, where we brought organizations together from different counties to talk about their support of the My Brother's Keeper initiative. And it's still going strong. Even though he's no longer in president, the initiative is still going strong.
And you're still meeting, and that was an awesome program. I mean, the level and the caliber of organizations that were represented during that particular summit was amazing. You had Urban League of Greater Atlanta that was represented. You had oh goodness, and it's Mr. Tony
Loudon.
Yes, who is now the head pastor at the former President Jimmy Carter's church.
He is. He was with the Trump administration at one time. I don't know whether he's affiliated with the Biden administration or not. But Tony is a great guy, really, and very much supportive of the community council.
Absolutely, and he also was a part of the. It was an initiative that came out from the Department of Supervision, where they were working with reentry. It was a community
of hope or something like that. Station of Hope. Lost you again.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess that's
okay. I'm back.
Okay.
I'm back. I don't know what's wrong, but the Station of Hope. But one thing that we do at CCMA, we use the 5E approach when we work with young men. And I think this is critical. The first E is embrace them. We let them know that we care, even though we have no vested interest in their outcome, that we care about them. That's why many of them join gangs. The gang embraces them. So we embrace them. Then we enlighten them, because many of them don't know the statistics. They don't know that Black males are 2 times more likely to be unemployed than white males, and that they earn 70% of what the white male earns. They don't know those things. Incarceration rates, school dropout rates. So we enlighten them. Then we educate them by providing them services in goal setting, self-management, interpersonal relationships, communication skills, literacy, financial literacy, vocational exploration, all of those things during our 12-week period. It started out as a 26-week program. Now it's a 12-week program, but we educate them. Then we engage them. They have to present in class every day. They have to read books. They have to study. They have to submit reports. So we engage them. And then after we do all of those other things, we employ them. We send them out on jobs if they're interested in employment. We have a number of employers working with us right now that are seeking employees. For the first time that I can remember, there's a lack of employees.
Wow.
So we're really seeking applicants. Several of the employers out there, they're offering bonuses just for people to apply for employment. That's what we do
Amazing,
and all those
amazing.
things end up with empowerment. Another E, empowering our young Black men.
And if you wouldn't mind, if you could please give the contact of how people who are watching you now can donate to CCMA.
All right, they can visit us online at www.communitycouncilma.org, or they can use the simple one that you and Brother Anthony created, CCMA PMI, CCMA PMI, and that will take them directly to our network. On the network, they can see the gallery of all of the young people we've helped. They can apply for mentors, or if they want to be a mentor, they can sign up for that, and they can also donate. And funds are our greatest need right now. We need funds to fund the virtual academy.
Awesome.
One thing that I did mention, and I don't know how much time we have, but we're planning a community justice initiative. And perhaps if we don't have time to talk about that right now, we can talk about it later. But it's to improve relationships between young Black men and the law enforcement community.
Awesome. Awesome. So if you who are viewing are interested in any of the initiatives that Sister Norma Joy Barnes has shared with you from CCMA, please, please, please reach out to her staff, so that you can really just become a part of that collaboration, become a part of the community that helps to support our young Black men. It is very critical. We can talk about our young men and what they should and could be doing, but here we have an organization that has a long history of supporting and working with and cultivating our young Black men. And so I thank you so much, Sister Norma Joy Barnes, for honoring us today, for being on BBI Talks. We really appreciate you, and we definitely need to bring you back.
Great, and I've enjoyed the entire show, so thank you for inviting me.
Thank you. The pleasure is ours.
And thank you, Brother Anthony.
Thank you,
for
Sister
the compliments too.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Very sincere. You earned those compliments, isn't it?
Well, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. Well, peace and thank you again, Sister Norma Joy Barnes, CCMA.
Right.
We have another incredible guest. Are we ready for the?
I'm having some challenges getting that
converted,
up. So we may end up having to either show it next week or we have to do it. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I didn't even think about it at the time, but yeah, sorry about that.
Well, let me see if it helps if I kind of pull it up on my end. Maybe that will kind of get to where we need to be, because I really want to make sure that we incorporate this interview into today's show.
Well, I'll work on that. I know our next guest is in the green room, as we would say. So we should probably go ahead. And I think I figured out why every time I was trying to remove myself from being viewed on camera, it was turning off. It seemed to have an impact on Sister Norma's ability to hear us. I think it's because I was the one who brought her into string. So we're learning this technology. StreamYard has been around. It's not brand new, but it's still kind of new to us. And so we're learning all of the nuances, I would say, of what you can and can't not do, especially if you're live. So sorry about that.
Actually, you know what? I've got it. I've got it loaded. Let's see. You want to see if it plays for us?
Sure.
Okay, so here's the interview that we didn't get a chance to show a little bit earlier. Prayerfully, it will show for us now.
All right, let's
Here's
go.
ICRA International. Oh, no, it's giving me the same message.
Yeah, you have to convert it to an MP4 format. So let me work on that while we bring our next guest up, if you don't mind, Professor Lotus.
I don't mind at all. Sister Dr. Elna, I see her camera's off. Here we go. All right. Here is Dr. Elena Poulard with Family Support Circle. Welcome to BBI Talks.
Hey, good afternoon, good evening. How are you?
Good evening.
Good evening. We're doing well. How about yourself?
I'm wonderful. I can't complain.
Awesome. Well, I know you've seen some familiar faces that have been featured on today's show.
Yes.
Different organizational partners that you've worked with along the way. But if you wouldn't mind, Dr. Poulard, sharing with our viewers what Family Support Circle is and the programs that you offer.
Well, thank you, Sister Kawima. Again, I am Dr. Elena Poulard from Family Support Circle. I am the founder and the president of the organization. Family Support Circle is a non-profit organization, non-sectorial organization. We don't discriminate against anyone, and we provide services for everyone. What we do, we have two major components. We have the home care division and then a youth development program. Our home care division provides home care. We screen and hire nurses and LPNs, RNs, and we send them to the homes. We support families with elderlies who are medically frail and complicated, as well as children and adults with intellectual disabilities, autism, and who may have other difficulties from birth until 99 years old or whenever. And we support them in the home as well as in the community. Wow. We have a community-based program, and we provide supported employment for those young men or women with intellectual disabilities who graduate high school. They may not be able to hold quote and unquote normal jobs. So we provide support for them so that they can live a meaningful life and have a meaningful job and get paid to work just like, you and I go to work and earn a living. So what we do, we screen staff, we send them with those young people, and they are able to provide them. Some of them have behavioral issues, emotional issues, and they cannot hold a job like you and I would. So they need the assistance while at the job. So we have staff there with them doing the 6 hours, 8 hour period that they are there. At home, the staff provide home care, CEDAR, assistance, ADL, support for families and people in need. And so we provide the services as a whole for the home care. We just opened up a group home for people with intellectual disabilities, and then one for veterans. We serve homeless veterans as well. So we just opened up a home for the homeless veteran in Manchester, in Marietta County. After school, the youth development program provides after school and summer enrichment for children ages actually first grade all the way to high school.
Wow.
Youth development, and that's my baby. I love it.
Amazing. And if you wouldn't mind also sharing the work that you do even internationally. I think it's important for people to understand that as well. Yes,
we do have a school in Haiti. We serve 70 children in Haiti from first grade to sixth grade. We provide, educational support for them. We do have the school. We have teachers, administrators running the program. We feed them breakfast and lunch during the day, and we also provide social recreational activities for them and teach them things that most other schools don't provide, because as a developing countries, we focus more on education as opposed to ELA. So we do that. We provide the social learning aspect, so that they learn beyond the classroom and have skills beyond the classroom.
Awesome. Awesome. So how can our viewers donate to your nonprofit?
We do have a website, familysupportcircle.org, www.familysupportcircle.org. If you go there is a donate button. You can click on it and support us. Financial contribution is in a dire need for us right now, especially during the pandemic. Most businesses who supported us in the past, especially for the international programs, have not been doing so because they are hurting just like everyone else. Right. So we do need the support for our program international. And then we also need support for our kids here because we serve primarily underserved children. Mm-hmm. Those who live with their grandparents or have their parents incarcerated or died and their grandparents are raising them, single parents, and kids who live mostly in the poor neighborhood. We serve those populations and we target these kids because most of the students that we have in our programs are having problems in schools. Right. Not because they are bad or because they are, horrible children, right. But it's because they're dealing with a lot. Mm-hmm. And we are dealing with so many kids in the school system, in the classroom, in the school. We have a school with 700, 800 children. So of course you don't have time to pay attention to one or two who's misbehaving. So what we do, we label them as trouble children or students. And so what we do, we send them to suspension after suspension instead of asking them what's going on or find out what's going on with these kids at home personally. So we just label them and then we put that stigma on them and we put them on the side. And these kids get worse and worse and worse because now they are failing classes, they are left behind, and then their behaviors have gotten worse. So what we do as an organization, community-based organization, we target these kids, we bring them to the program, we support them with their homework, tutoring, and we find out what's going on. Some of them need counseling. We partner with other organizations to provide emotional support for them. And if they need referrals for a social worker, we get the social worker in the school or within the organization to go in their home, in their personal environment and see what's going on. You'll be surprised to see how many kids are dealing with adult problems.
That's right. That's facts. That is absolute facts. Well, we really truly appreciate the work that you have been doing all these years, Dr. Poulard. We really, really are grateful. And I'm asking those of you who are listening to Sister to donate. You know, you've heard that a lot of these companies that once were able to commit a certain amount of funding to her nonprofit aren't able to do so because of the pestilence, because of the pandemic. And I think it's important that the community who is benefiting from these services, that we contribute,
that's right,
that we donate. And it doesn't have to be a lot of money at one time if you can't afford it. Whatever you can donate to help. $5. Put 5 on it. I mean, we put 5 on other things. Why can't we put 5 on servicing, services for our children, for our youth, for our community? And this is the first nonprofit that we've had on here that also addresses the concerns of our elders. Yeah, I really think our elders are like the forgotten part of our community, but they are some of the most essential people in our communities. And so, being one who was reared by her grandmother, may God be pleased, I understand the tremendous amount of support that our elders need.
Yes.
And so I thank you, Dr. Poulard, for everything that you have been doing. And those of you who would like to give a financial donation to her nonprofit, Family Support Circle, please log on to their website, familysupportcircle.org. We have it here on our screen. And give that tax-deductible donation before the end of the year. It's okay if it's mutually beneficial. She's not mad at it. You can cut her a check for $20,000 and write it off. Are you mad, Dr. Poulard?
That would be wonderful.
Come on. And that's for all the nonprofits that we feature tonight. Go ahead and cut those big checks. You got it.
That's right.
But no, we thank you so much for honoring us this evening. And May God continue to bless you and the others that we have shown tonight, featured tonight, to continue to do this mighty work.
Thank you so much, Karima, for having me, and thank you for the opportunity to share our story.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. And greetings to the family and to the entire Family Support Circle staff.
Thank you. Have a wonderful holiday.
You do the same. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Peace. Wow. I tell you, this has truly been amazing, beyond what I ever imagined. I'm just blown away, truly blown away by what our people are doing to help to serve our community. Our next guests, they are not a nonprofit yet. I'm putting that out there. She hears me. Not yet.
It's coming.
And I really want her to speak to the reason why the service that she offers, or that sisters offer, what the state of Georgia is like for the types of services that they offer, and why they're having to start out the gate as a for-profit. But I thought it was really important that we highlight nonprofits, but also for-profits that are serving our community in very critical ways. And so our next guest, Sister Julie Sinkfield, as well as Sister Angela Galloway, with My
Life Tutors.
My Life Tutors. Pardon me. Look, my phone blacked out on me. My Life Tutors. Welcome to BBI Talks.
Greetings.
Thank you so much.
Greetings.
Thank you.
So please tell our viewers, what is My Life Tutors?
Okay, so as you mentioned, we are not a nonprofit yet. We are a for-profit organization, but we serve college students and professionals who are neurodiverse. Many people with learning disabilities go off to college and they have terrible, terrible completion rates, not because they're not academically capable, but because they're having a difficulty managing all of the other parts of college life. Mm-hmm. And without explicit instruction, they often fail out of school very dramatically and very quickly. Mm-hmm. So my son is neurodiverse, and that's what happened to him, basically. So he decided he was going back to school and needed help. And I found a way. I created a way. We created a program. I found the person, I trained the person. When it worked, we tried to give it, we started adding other clients, and we've been building from there. But we are a for-profit organization because in addition to doing direct services, we work directly with universities, particularly minority serving institutions like HBCUs, who often don't have the resources to provide the type of support that neurodiverse students, like students who are on the autism spectrum, or students who just have ADHD, or students who may be dyslexic, they often don't have the resources, but we can provide the resources in a group form under a white label with the university's name on it and stamp on it, and provide those services to larger groups through that. And then we are also providing services through state vocational rehab organizations.
Awesome. Now, if you wouldn't mind helping to clarify what neurodiverse means.
So neurodiverse is a fancy word that addresses the fact that not every disability means you're incapable. Mm-hmm. And so it embraces the idea that sometimes things that we consider to be disabilities are just differences.
Right.
So it's not that you're not as bright, it's not that you don't know as much, but your way of thinking might be a little different, or the way you process information might be a little different. And accommodating those things in university settings and in work settings is not a difficult thing. And that's what we want to show people.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Being a university professor, one of the things that I've noticed, because I've had students in my class that were probably neurodiverse, or that were somewhere on the spectrum, the autistic spectrum. And since I do have experience of teaching for the program for exceptional children within the Atlanta public school system for about 5 years, I think I kind of was a little bit more aware than maybe some of my colleagues. But one of the things that we've noticed on the university level is that because the records of our students are sealed, especially if they had IEPs, we on the university level are not aware of the kind of support that our students really need. So I don't know if you can kind of speak to those challenges on both sides, both the university side, to kind of really help set the stage of why what you're doing is so essential, and then also the needs of the students themselves.
Angela, do you want to do that?
Yeah, we can talk about that, certainly. I think that, once you get past high school, your IEP does not carry over. And that for a lot of kids who need those services is problematic. And so I think that, part of what we advocate with our students is self-advocacy, understanding what it is that you need and how to sort of ask for those things. And so this gives you the opportunity to just have your support with you, because our services are virtual. So the support that you need is as close as your smartphone. You don't have to go to a specific place on campus. And usually the people know where you're going on campus and what you're getting. And for some people, that's a disincentive because they don't want to appear, oh, I'm going into this room and this hall and this whatever, because everybody's going to know that. And so I think that, giving them the opportunity to have the support that they need on their phone so that it can be a non-intrusive way to give the support, we think that will also increase using the support, because sometimes there are universities that provide support, but it's not the level of intensity that students need. And certainly we're not going with a one-size-fit-all approach. It's a one-to-one sort of service, so that if you need something more intense, you and your coach work on that. If you need something less intense, you and your coach work on that. So we have, specialized services for that particular student.
The other thing that you talked about, though, Mom Karima, was about the lack of transition that, from K to 12 to high school. First of all, IDEA, which is the special education law, only covers K to 12th grade. And it only covers you up to age 21. Right. But if you graduate, it doesn't cover you anymore. So the money doesn't go with you, and the legal protections and the right to services does not go with you to higher education. Higher education is considered voluntary and not required. And therefore, there is no imperative to provide these services. So we can come in and do it for a university far more easily than a university can do it. We don't require a building. We don't require, space and all that other stuff. And we can work directly with students. But for a university, you're stuck with students being willing to disclose to you their disability. And so we make it easy for people to bypass, if they're worried about their professors looking at them strangely, if they're worried about the university maybe not accepting them, people are not going to disclose. And a lot of people just get lost that way, and it's unfortunate, but they also don't have anybody to disclose to once they get there. I can hear you.
In some instances, they end up actually flunking out of school.
Yes.
Yeah.
When only thing that they needed was y'all, right? Was
pretty much.
Yes. Yes.
They just, I one of the sisters who I trained under, she has a son who is autistic. And to be honest with you, that was the first time that I even knew that someone who was on the spectrum could successfully matriculate through a university and have a life independent of his parents. Like, that is possible. And I'm saying this in all sincerity because I think oftentimes we think if someone has a learning difference or if someone is on the spectrum, that somehow that means that they don't have a life, that and that's the farthest from the truth.
Right. And I think that that just goes to the nature of a spectrum disorder. You have, both ends of the continuum and everything in between. So the person on the spectrum that you see is just one person on the spectrum that you see. You have a lot of people who are very high functioning on the spectrum. It doesn't mean that they don't need services. But the nature of the services may also be different. And that's something else that sets us apart as well. We're certainly focused on the academics, but we understand there's a whole lot more that goes into college. You're living where you're studying. That's a totally different dynamic. The social dynamics, and sometimes if you have a learning differences, sometimes you have some of the social aspects can be a little bit tougher. And so we can cover all of that, with your live tutor as close as your smartphone. So it goes beyond just the academics. And I think that, that helps you to be a well-rounded person, which is really what you need to succeed in college and in life, is not just academics. There are all sorts of soft skills that are necessary for you to be successful. And we help you with those things as well.
Awesome. And so would you mind, I know you kind of touched on it when you said about the soft skill training, but can you also give maybe some other examples of the type of support that they could look forward to from my life tutors?
Well, quite literally, we will help them operationalize any part of their lives. And usually we start with a schedule. Everybody needs a schedule, period. That's how you hang everything on a schedule. And if you're not engaging with the tools that you have, you need someone to explicitly show you the benefits and how easy it is to use it and how this can work with your schedule and keep you on task and on time. When my son was growing up, I couldn't understand how I bought him all the organizing things and he still didn't use them. But I never sat down with him and went through how to use them and set them up with him. I just couldn't, I couldn't see the problem. Now that I understand what the problem is, we can now help people bridge those types of things where you need explicit teaching on how to pack a suitcase, things like that. We show people videos on how to change a tire, things that are difficult, how to call and make appointments if that's what you need. If you want to rehearse what you're going to say on the phone, if you're trying to get information or you need someone to be on the phone with you, you're trying to access resources, a coach can help you with those things too. We also, through our coaches, we send people for diagnosis. We find where they can go get tested and get diagnosed if they're having a hard time and don't really know what the issue is, We can help people get diagnosed through referrals, and we'll help people with going through the paperwork process to get to where you can be diagnosed.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. So what age can someone contract your services for?
High school graduation, the next day.
All right now.
Get you set up for college.
Yes, the next day.
That is tremendous. That is tremendous. Like, I'm so happy that you are here providing this service, moms. I really, really am. Because I know it's needed. Definitely. I know it's needed. And in a state, unfortunately, Georgia compared to, and I've moved around a lot, but Georgia in comparison to places like New York, the services are not here. And not at the same level of support that you can get in other states. Yeah. It's not there.
But a lot of people don't know what's available at all. Because again, there's no handoff, there's no transition.
Okay.
In every state in the country, there is an office, a state office of vocational rehabilitation. Okay. Kids who have come out of high school with IEPs or come out of high school with diagnoses can go straight to those people and get set up with services like ours through their state voc rehab office for free. So again, we redirect people to those resources. So we are also at the same time, one of Angela's friends from elementary school works at the Georgia State Office of Voc Rehab and reached out to us. And so we've now put in our application to become a vendor with them so that college students throughout Georgia can talk to their counselors and get our services through the state.
Awesome.
Wonderful.
Okay.
Beautiful.
All right. Okay, Georgia. Look, y'all heard me fussing. You said we better step up before BBI talks dresses us. No, that's amazing. And I wish and pray for y'all success, which I know is destined because of the mighty work that you are doing. Did you have anything else that you want to share? Like, I know that you may not be a nonprofit, but can people still give you money? Can they sponsor young people?
Sponsor students. People can sponsor students, but more importantly, we're doing some testing of some new curriculum. And so we're offering 90% off our college jumpstart class this spring.
Wow.
Starting right at the end of January. I'm actually working on the newsletter right now. That information will be on the website very soon, but we're going to offer that. We're also offering some 20% off discounts off of the one-to-one coaching as well.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay, now family, BBI Talks family, let's sponsor our youth.
That's right.
Yes,
let's sponsor our young people.
Yes.
Because we don't know who would be coming through this program.
Yes.
We don't know.
Yeah.
Yes.
Definitely.
One of these beautiful children could be the one that cures cancer.
That's right.
I know we say that
absolutely
like it's something far off, but no, it's very real.
That's right.
Yeah.
You're gonna say something, Mom.
Yeah, and it's not an ability issue with students who have learning differences. A lot of times a little bit can make a huge difference, and that little bit may be the life tutors coaching and or college class that gives you just a little bit, because again, it's not an ability issue. These kids have gone through high school. A lot of them are excelling, are honor students, and we want to make sure that they keep that trajectory going as they go into college.
Awesome. Well, this is My Life Tutors, and you can actually reach out to them and sponsor young people at mylifetutors.com. That's mylifetutors with an S.com. And did you have any other closing remarks that you want to share with the audience?
We're just really excited to move forward. We're anticipating a lot of growth coming up. But I really want people to come to my website, sign up for information, and you'll get the newsletter with all of the discounts in it.
Awesome. Amazing. And thank you so much, sisters, for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I look forward to hearing a follow-up.
Yes.
When all of the paperwork is signed, come back on BBI Talks and talk about what it is that you're going to be offering through that new partnership. Is that all right?
Sounds great.
Great.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Thank
you.
All right.
Ladies.
Oh, wow. This is amazing, Anthony. Brother Anthony D. And wait, did you see what came in?
I did. Let me.
Oh,
wow. I'm so glad that you brought that up. I have to post this comment. Sister Norma Joy Barnes,
of
who
CCMA.
Was of CCMA. This is what she just posted a few moments ago on Facebook.
Thank you, BBI Talks fam.
This is what I'm talking about.
Thank you.
In real time. In real time.
Thank you.
Wow. I mean, this is powerful. This is impactful. And so, all praise belongs to God for us.
That's right.
For Professor Lotus for having the idea to want to utilize this platform to shine a spotlight in a positive way, in an edifying way on what our people are doing out here in the community to have impact. So whomever gave that $100 donation to CCMA, we thank you. because you help to just reinforce the importance of us having these platforms to tell our story and to share with the masses what it is that you all are doing to have impact on a day-to-day basis. So we thank you.
And whoever made that donation, like, thank you.
Yes.
Because many of the sisters and the brothers that are being featured on this show today, many of them I have worked with, and I've watched them use their own money
yes,
to serve our community. And they do it with a smile. But it is our responsibility as a community.
That's right.
To support not them individually, but to support the institutions that they are building.
That's right.
For our benefit. That is our responsibility. And I thank you so much, whoever that was that made that donation. And those of you who are going to make donations now, thank you. Thank you. And thank you.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
We have
beautiful.
another guest on here. Brother Barry Mohammed of the 10,000 Fearless. Now, the 10,000 Fearless themselves is not a nonprofit, it's actually a for-profit. But once again, it's a wonderful, wonderful organization that is serving the community. It is serving our people. And so, Brother Barry, welcome to BBI Talks.
And thank you, Sister Karima and Brother Anthony, for a wonderful job that you are doing. And I send greetings from Student Minister Abdul Sharif and the 10,000 Fearless staff and everything.
Please return the greetings to our dear brother, Student Minister Sharif Mohammed.
Yes, I will do.
Awesome. And so please tell our viewers about the 10,000 Fearless. How did you get started? What was the foundation in which you were brought forth?
Well, the 2015 of the 20th anniversary of the Million Man March, Minister Farrakhan came up with the 10,000 Fearless concept, but he wanted us to go back to the community and make a safe and decent place to live. And also he wanted to make sure we do community patrolling and conflict resolutionary out of that. And then from there, Brother Sharif, the Veterans Fairs, the feeding program, the clothing program, information center. We have an information center that deals with housing, furniture, clothing, eyeglasses, medical help, going to school, everything. It's almost like an HRS where we have the same ability and the same numbers. And we came to the community with him 2015, and he made Minister Farrakhan wear a bond, and we was very successful working along with him and Reverend Tim McDonald and Reverend Rice and Fred Duke and Bishop Fain and other presidents, Man Fulcon and different other brothers throughout the community, that we came over here and made his word bond. And this is how we started. I got involved by just basically just coming on helping Minister Sharif to help make Minister Farrakhan word bond. And we came on the community and we've been successful over there working. I won't call the word struggle. I'm just talking about working in the spirit of love and unity with our people, because that's what you got to do. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said you got to love the people more than they hate themselves. And what we do, we love in the spirit of the unity that Mr. Sharif talks about, and that's how we serve the community, working together. And this is what we do each and every day, looking out for the people's needs and things in the system, what they need to do. And the key word is a kind word. Everybody needs a kind word, and everybody needs somebody to talk to. And that's one of the things that we support always, in that being able to knock on the door, and you might need some groceries, you might just need some lunch, or you may be looking for a uniform or something to go to work, and we may have that today. Like we usually do, you know, we have several other organizations and churches that we work with to be able to assist us on serving these different things that we do in the community. And it's very grateful, you know, and I learned a lot, not just about the people, but myself too, that we got to think and love deeper. You know, that's Minister Farrakhan talking about the surface love. We got to love deep, and that's what Minister Sharif represents. And we just striving to stay with him, continue helping him make Minister Farrakhan word bond.
Amazing. And I think it's important to also highlight, you know, the tremendous work that is not only being done now, but also prior to the pestilence, people refer to as the pandemic. I know I have personally witnessed every Tuesday and every Thursday there being between 200 and 300 people standing outside of the 10,000 Fearless in collaboration with People United for Change to feed the community. And so when we're talking about impact into a community, what 10,000 Fearless has been blessed to do in the community and profound. I'm also thinking about the community patrol that you offer the community. Would you mind speaking to that as well?
Right. First of all, before I even get to that, shout out to Sister Alicia, who's been the 10,000 Fearless director for at least, I think, about 15 to 16 years. She's been dealing with that with the food bank over here in at the mosque, and she's over here overseeing that and make sure nationally, everybody nationally get their 510C from that organization, so she'll make it we can feed the people in the community, and we can continue with over here 3638 and also 10,000 Fearless. Okay, the community trolling is one of the key things that Mr. Farrakhan talked about. And, you know, Mr. Sharif, he definitely infinite working together to make it bond. So we control the area with the car, the 10,000 Fearless Patrol car, and also we work with the different brothers that put stickers in the community. We ride the neighborhood, talk to the people. Also, we do what you call a conflict resolution situation every now and then. You might have a conflict and you know, basically get two people together and you ask each one to listen to each other's side, and basically one talk to the next one talk, and then that's how the process started to begin. And then people also, when they see the patrol car, they have a lot of respect for us because, like Ms. Reese said, they see we striving to do the best for our people and love the unity. So prevention is what it is, and out of that love for our people to make them more conscious. When they see people that believe in God is working in the community, and they have respect for us for what we do. So that's why it's so important that we have to continue to support the 10,000 Fearless patrol car and everything. So we developing our own community patrol cars and community, so we can make our community a safe and decent place to live.
Would you mind sharing with our viewers, how can they help?
Well, on the screen, you can give us a call at 44963-1078, or you can cash app. You cash up to us at 10K Fearless 2. 10K Fearless 2. You can cash out so we can support the center by make sure that the lights are paid, make sure the things are paid, make sure gas is in the car. And we all are volunteer based, so we can be able to support it. You know, that's one of the key things that we got to do. And we'll work in different areas. Just give us a call and work with us. We are people that working in the spirit of love and unity. We work with different organizations. That's not really non-religious. We work together to make it safe and decent place to live.
Now, recently you just hosted an event. Would you mind sharing with the viewers what you did recently? I think it was the 4th of December.
Right, along with 10,000 Fearless and People United for Change. And we had several other sponsors along with that, you know, Liberty, Baptist Church, Reverend Rice, Sankofia, Imam Phil Khan, Masjid Al-Mukminu, that, and also Rick Barbershop over here, and along with the art and the Rise Magazine and Supreme Water, that we got together and we supported the community with a 10,000 Fearless Clothes Drive, which this is our third annual big one. We had many coats, shoes, clothes, and people were very appreciated. And we served dinner that day. You know, my brother Elwood, his family came with the dinner, and we supported it. We had great help over there. Brothers and sisters came out from different organizations to support. Just, you know, it showed a little back of love and spirit to the people. You know, one of the key things that we always have to do is we have to begin to feel each other's pain again. That's love. You got to bring the love back. And when you feel each other's pain, and you see a girl ain't got no shoes, and you got the money, you can go get a pair of shoes. It ain't gonna hurt you. Just stop going to stop them about 3 days. You know what I mean? And just look out for them or get a jacket. You know,
that's right.
You got to show love. That same person need that love, because what it would do for him, it realized that someone cares, you know.
That's
and that's
right.
what we have to bring back, you know. And I just want to thank you too, Sister Karima and Brother Anthony, and also your mother for supporting us, you know. Sister Karima been supporting from day one, Brother Anthony,
Praise be to Allah.
and your family, you know, stood up, you know, your mother looked out for us that day, you know, she always looked out for us. Not just me, she looked out for Brother Kareem too, you know what I mean? So in community, so
Praise be to
so
Allah.
we thank you and thank your family and your father for all what they do, you know. Sometimes we take it for granted. But like Minister Farrakhan and through Minister Sharif, we never say thank you enough.
Well, if I may, Brother Barry, I would like to thank you for being steadfast,
absolutely,
being a consistent presence at the 10,000 Fearless headquarters at the Ark, and wherever our people are found, you are really, man, a credit. I don't even know if that's a strong enough word, but I don't think enough credit is given to you for really being such a strong helper to Student Minister Abdul Sharif Muhammad as he strives each and every day through his labor and all of his efforts to make, like you said, the word of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan bond. And then know that it's because of brothers like yourself, sisters like Sister Celicia, and all those who assist that this effort,
Sister
Kanetta, that this effort is growing and it has resonated all throughout the country. And so I just wanted to take time to thank you, brother, because if not for you and your consistent, steadfast diligence and getting the donations and informing people about what's going on in the community, how 10,000 Fearless is impacting the lives of our people who are in some of the worst conditions that we can see here in Metro Atlanta, it wouldn't be, you know, we don't believe in the mystery God. We don't believe in anything happening without real effort being applied to us. I just wanted to tell you, brother, that I appreciate you.
Absolutely.
And thank you for your efforts. And you are a wonderful, wonderful representation of the 10,000 Fearless, my brother.
Absolutely. And we also need to lift up Sister Zarifa and Sister Sabira and Brother Charles.
Yes.
You know, when I look at you, dear brother Barry, I know Student Minister Abdul Sharif Muhammad often thanks you for your work. However, as a community, we need to thank you for your work.
Absolutely.
You know, truly one of our unsung heroes in our community, where people can actually, I will just tell you a little bit about brother. People in 2, 3 o'clock in the morning will knock on the door of the 10,000 Fearless. And whereas Brother Barry could just throw the cover over his head and act like he doesn't hear it, he doesn't. He gets up, puts on what he needs to put on to be presentable, and he asks whoever is at that door, how may I serve you? Now that's a heart of a savior.
Yes.
And so we thank you, dear brother, for everything that you do to serve our people. Absolutely. And we can never thank you enough for your contributions, brother. And I just want to let you know that my family, our family will always, as long as Allah allows us to be able to be in the position to do it, we will always help where we can to support the efforts of the 10,000 Fearless.
And if I may, I would like to say thank you, Brother Barry, for the delicious fish that you fry, brother. Brother Barry fries fish. Now, if you like fried,
Charles doing it now.
Oh, Charles doing it.
Charles doing it right now. I did it at the house a couple times.
Okay.
But brother Barry, no joke.
So look, I'm from Chicago, so I'm used to having some fried whiting. And I was telling Creamer earlier, like it was hard to find a good place that can fry some whiting in a good way. You know, you can find fried catfish and all of these other spots that come a dime a dozen. If they fry, it would be like, where's the fish at? It was nothing but crust burned up, you know. But that fried fish is the bomb. So
I just want to tell you, thank you, brother. That fish was Brother Charles and Sister Sophia fried the fish. I didn't try to.
Okay.
I'm just the call. I'm just the one that reach out to the people. Charles and Sister Sophia fried the fish.
Okay.
Do the macaroni. Yes. Sister Barker make that world's famous y'all call it friend bread. I call it Muslim cornbread. So we were working with that. And Sister Sophia, and also Sister Aaliyah, Brother Charles, they making that pie. Sister Leah and her mother, Sister Sophia. It's something about a woman that God made her MGT is a little different than any other woman in the world. She's the woman of God, man. And when they touch that pie, brother, they touch that pie. It's the mom and daughter touch that pie, and they help along with Charles, and we continue, and thank you for the staff, I think Brother Sharif, because if it wasn't for him, I didn't know it was in it, me. I was just coming around and just trying to help. And then, just trying to help. That's all. Just trying to help him make Minister Farrakhan work on. And it was good for me because I needed that, A human being have to be able to give, I think one of the pastors said it was to live and to give.
Yes.
And we should always think about giving and better than receiving. I just thank Brother Sharif and each and every day for the opportunity to keep me straight, to remind me of things and why the purpose of doing things, and this is what you should do, and build that character that each one of us have to build to be able to reach that goal. And I just thank y'all too, and thank your children too.
Praise be to
God. Thank you.
Praise be to God. You know what I mean?
That's right. That's right. You are appreciated.
Your daughter used to always help us with the calls and everything. We appreciate everything.
Praise be to Allah.
So,
well, we are going to get out of here. We have had a wonderful thing. I want to hit this one more time. Those of you who would like to donate to the 10,000 Fearless, you can Cash App them at $10K Fearless, the number 2. You can also reach them at their website, which is, what's the website, Brother Barry?
Well, I can give you the PayPal.
Okay. What's the PayPal? I'm sorry.
The PayPal is paypal.me/10,000fearless.
Okay,
and
awesome.
The website is the 10,000 Fearless too. And you can always call us at 44963-1078. We reach you all the time,
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us here on BBI Talks for our Black nonprofit pop-up showcase. It has been truly a pleasure to have you, and we're truly honored, dear brother, for having you on the show today. I don't know whether or not we were able to.
Yes, I was able to get the video, and to be honest, I think this all worked perfectly because one thing I noticed is that our mature members of our community who are on the front line. And so the question was running in my mind is, in terms of these types of services that are being provided to our community, where is the next generation of service providers? Where is that going to come from? Because these brothers and sisters who've given so many years of their lives, they won't be able to do it forever.
That's right.
And so it's important to have the next generation of service providers to come up. And so for that reason, I think it's very fitting that we end with the last presenter who discusses his wonderful organization. So let me cue this young man up.
All right now.
Let's bring him on so he can come to the witness stand. And here he is. Let's go.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Welcome to BVI Talks. So please introduce yourselves.
Yes, ma'am. I am Mansour Njai Mohammed, and I am the proud author of children's favorite book series, Mansour and the Mysterious Whale.
Awesome. And what are you here to promote?
I am here to promote my 501c3 nonprofit ICRA International INC.
Awesome. And what's the mission of ICRA? Well, first of all, what does ICRA mean?
ICRA is Arabic for read.
Awesome. And so what does your nonprofit do?
Our mission is to share the joy of reading with children of color around the world.
Oh, that's amazing. And so what made you decide that you were going to establish a nonprofit?
When I saw the national test scores of 2019, Black people scored 18% and Native American and Latinx children scored around 11 through 14%.
And how did that impact you? How did that make you feel?
It let me know that children of color do not really read that much.
Awesome, awesome. And so that's why you established your nonprofit. Yes. I see you have somebody here with you. So who is this with you?
This is Awa Nafisa and Jai Mohammed, and she is my vice president of my 501c3 nonprofit ICRA International.
Awesome. So welcome, Awa.
Thank you.
And so what are some of your responsibilities as being the vice president of ICRA International?
Well, as vice president, I plan any kind of events we're having. I execute them, make sure they go right as I want them to and I need them to. I also oversee them just to make sure everything is okay. Also, I just, I help around. Anything that he needs help with, I will help. And yeah, that's it.
Awesome. And so what kind of programs can we look forward to from ICRA International going into 2022?
Well, you can look forward to, first up on our Instagram, Take on Wings. We will be having reading, storytelling, live Instagrams where I would be reading to the children. That's one of the plans that I would be executing. And also, Monter, he would be reading as well. We would be reading books of people of color or children of color to inspire them to actually read more, because a lot of children do not see books with people or characters that look like them. So once they see that, I believe that they would be more drawn to it. Also, what was the question?
Okay, now I was asking in terms of what we have to look forward to from ICRA International regarding your programming going into 2022. What else do you have coming up in the spring?
In the spring, we have the ICRA International Hybrid, our gala, I believe it is. It would be, meaning as hybrid, it would be in person and virtual. A fundraiser as well to build up the funds for our nonprofit organization so we could do more to help the community and children.
Awesome. That's just amazing. And so how can people follow you? How can they reach out to you?
They can follow me on Instagram at TakeOnWings. Also, on my Instagram page, IQRAINTL.
Okay, so ICRA INTL, which is the abbreviation for international. Awesome. Well, I thank you so much for coming to the studio.
We thank you.
All right. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Yay!
Phenomenal. Phenomenal. Wonderful job. And I have to show this. This is the president here. You all see this young man?
Yes.
Yes, sir. It is you. This is the president of ICRA International, Mr. Mansour Lukman Njai Mohammed.
Yes.
So again, I think this probably was all in divine timing.
Absolutely.
That we end the show showing the next generation of service providers coming up. And so
and I just would make another appeal to those who are watching. Now, the Instagram handles that you see on your screen at ICRA ITL, that is their corporate nonprofit, their corporate page. But they're at Take on Wings is where they're going to have programming directed to young people. So they'll be able to have their own space, which I think is a wonderful idea from the president and VP, to be able to reach out directly to other young people. And I'm looking forward to them reading books. They've already had, they made me their executive director, y'all. And so they have charged me with the responsibility of helping to reach out to authors and to acquire the books on behalf of the nonprofit so that they can read and feature these books from authors of color to be able to really inspire young people to reading. And this is tremendous. And I also want to congratulate Mansour Mohammed on the recent release of his new edition of Monster and the Mysterious Wheel, which we're going to probably play the commercial on the way out.
Absolutely.
But his latest book, Monster and the Mysterious Wheel, I Am Obedient, is out. And so the response that we've been getting from those who have been purchasing his book has been incredible. He's so excited. And of course, this book also featured co-writing from his sister, Awa. So you'll be able to see that she's also receiving writing credit on this book as well. So the young people are moving out. And so it is our responsibility as adults to just support them. They already have fresh ideas. They already have things that they want to do. And they're just asking for you to just support them.
That's right.
And so please stay tuned to their Instagram. They will begin posting how you can support them financially. But right now, they just want you to send your children. Just have your children join them for their story times. And then we'll go from there. So I thank them so much. They had another engagement, so they weren't able to be on with us live. But we thank them so much for being willing to do that recording before they left out. But this has been a wonderful, wonderful evening. And I thank all of the nonprofits who have joined us today. I'm just going to list them very quickly before we get out of here. Miss Gwendolyn Sands, representing Cure Violence Atlanta. Brother Mark D. Mohammed, representing Let Us Make Man Foundation. Sister Betty Maddox Mohammed, representing Grieve. Brother Mansour Mohammed, representing ICRA International. Sister Norma Joy Barnes, representing the Community Council of Metropolitan Atlanta. Dr. Elena Poulard, representing Family Support Circle. And Sister Julia Sinkfield and Sister Angela. Did you get her last name, Sister Angela? Representing My Life Tutors. So we want to thank everyone, as well as Brother Barry Muhammad, representing 10,000 Fearless. And I thank you for that, because I actually wanted to say something regarding 10,000 Fearless. And first I want to get Sister's last name. Sister Angela Galloway with My Life Tutors. I want to take the time to thank Student Minister Abdul Sharif Muhammad for allowing the representation of 10,000 Fearless through Brother Barry. I look forward to us having you as a guest on our show. And boy, is that going to be fire.
Absolutely. Well-traveled.
Yes.
Has lived a full life.
Yes.
So much wisdom. Man, it's a lot to unpack. We may have to do his interview in pieces. Install. Yes.
Well, all right. Brother Anthony D.
All right. Well, before we get out of here, of course, we're going to run the ad from Young Mansour again, but I don't think we stated earlier where we actually are broadcasting from today. So if we forgot to do it, we are broadcasting live from the Russell Innovation Center for Entrepreneurs, also known as RICE for short. This is the former corporate headquarters of the H.J. Russell construction company, which is founded by our great Herman J. Russell, who, as he has said, and it's been said of him, the man who built Atlanta. And so we are actually in the Legacy Podcast studio, and we are happy to be here because we believe that these conversations help to continue on the legacy of our great brother Herman J. Russell. So with that being said, let's bring it up.
And I just want to thank two people from the RICE leadership. That is Brother Jay Bailey. Thank you for always opening the doors to RICE, to BBI Talk, so that we can come in and share this programming with you. And also Sister Chris Hale.
Sister Chris.
Thank you, sis.
Always coming through.
Always coming through, and always being so very supportive of what we are doing here on BBI Talks. And thank you to the staff who so graciously helps us in and gets us settled and access to wherever we need to get access to. I tell you, we're just blessed, man. We're blessed to have just a wonderful organization that has an open door policy to us.
Absolutely. So with that being said, let's run this ad for Mansour.
Yeah.
Mysterious Will. His new book that's out. Come on, y'all.
Rock with me.
Here's a book that I know you're gonna feel. This is Mansour and the Mysterious Wheel. Facing plenty challenges, a journey to explore. Found a friend on the wheel, and it's so much more. Written by Mansour Mohammed at the age of 11. Been writing since 5, the second book out of 7. Teaching character building, like courage for children, like honesty and how we can practice social distance. Hey, Mansour and the Mysterious Wheel.
All right, we're back. Make sure you get your copy of Mansour and the Mysterious Will on Amazon. And for those of you who have the e-readers, you can also get it on Kindle. You get it right away. You don't even have to wait for it to be delivered to you in the mail. And be on the lookout, particularly for those of you who are in Metro Atlanta. His will be coming to a bookstore near you. Not only his first release and the activity book to follow, but also this new great edition. It's very well illustrated. It's a very engaging story. Kofi. Very current, dealing with this pestilence.
That's right.
And it's a good way, excuse me, a good way to help young people assume their responsibility for how they should conduct themselves in these trying times.
And to understand what's going on around them. So, and to know that they've got a guide out there.
That's right.
All right. So I thank you so much, Brother Anthony D. Are we ready to get out of here?
We are ready to get out of here because, believe it or not, I'm going to be getting on the road at 5 o'clock tomorrow morning. So I need to go get something to eat first because Brother Barry's talking about all this food. And so I need to go get something to eat. And then we got some more work. I'm trying to get to bed by midnight, y'all. So pray for me, please.
And we didn't have our commercial for Magnolia Crescent. We didn't have one.
Okay.
We didn't have one loaded. We got to give love to Magnolia Crescent. And what my husband is talking about is that we're about to hit the road so that we can join Sister Charmaine Fenton of Fenton Lifestyles there in the city of Miramar for the Fenton Lifestyle pop-up. So we are going to be out there offering our 100% non-alcoholic wines, sparkling teas, and spirit alternatives.
That's right.
And we're really excited. So join us out there, okay?
All right, let's go.
All right. Magnolia Crescent Orchards presents 100% non-alcoholic wines and sparkling teas. We offer halal certified, organic, vegan-friendly, 100% non-alcoholic wines. Shop today at our website, magnoliacrescent.farm. Try our non-alcoholic Chardonnays, Rosé, and more. magnoliacrescent.farm. All right. We'll see. Oh, go ahead.
Now, I was just going to say that video footage was actually filmed by the vice president, Madam Vice President of Iqra International.
Yes.
Miss Awa Nafisa Njai Mohammed. So we put these children to work.
Come on now.
I don't know what y'all doing with y'all children, but we put them to work because they have things to do and we need their help. So we utilize their youthfulness, their vitality, and their creative energy. We put them to work. So as you can see, the benefits of that.
So we will see y'all next Friday, God willing, at 5:30 right here on BVI Talks on all the major platforms. If you missed today's episode live, it's okay. You can check it out on YouTube as well as on Facebook. Everything that we share here on the show is always archived on Facebook. And I guess that's it, right? We ready to get out of here?
That's it. We out of here, family.
All right. Peace.
We gotta bring businesses back. My business is black. My business is black as the universe. I know why they mad. They gotta react. Cause we're universal influencers. I can supply you the man. Get what I need out the land. The earth is the kingdom of God. Glad that I know where I am. We gotta bring businesses back. My business is black. My business is black as the universe. I know why they mad. They gotta react. Cause we're universal influencers. I can supply you the man. I can supply you the man. Get what what I need at the land.